Hey science students, I am going to show you how to set up the Newton's car so that you know how to do that lab today. So what you're going to need is the actual Newton's car. This is what it looks like. There are 3 screws on it, 1 at the top in the middle and then 2 on each side or corner of the bottom. You will need some rubber bands for this experiment, so maybe just 3, 2, 4, anywhere from 2 to 4 is probably a good number. You will need the track, so these will serve as a track for our car in a second here. You will need a weight to shoot from the car, and then you'll need some string and some scissors and matches. So a lot of different things for this, but I'm going to show you kind of how to set this up. So the first thing that you're going to need is a piece of string, not too long. And what's going to happen, this is really important, this part, okay? This is where people mess up the most. You are going to put your rubber bands connected on the 2 screws, so they're hanging on these 2 screws. Here's what people usually do. They take half the rubber bands and half of the other half stays here. You can't have any rubber bands between these 2 things. So you have to take all the pieces of the rubber bands, and what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use the string to tie them to the top screw. Okay, so you can see here, there is no rubber bands in between here. If you do only half, that's wrong. You can't have these here, okay? So, right, all the rubber bands are gone from between those screws. Wrong. Half the rubber bands are still there. That's going to be a problem for us, okay? So, to do that, I'm going to take my string. I'm going to just loop it around all the pieces of the rubber band. So again, you can see here, I just grabbed all of them. I'm going to tie my string into a little loop here. So I'll try to show you. A double knotted loop works best for this because if you don't double knot it, it will just come loose. So again, I'm making like a circular thing here. I'm not tying it directly onto here, so you can see there's room. I double knotted, okay, at the top here. And then I'm going to take this loop and I'm going to hook it on that top screw. So I'm using 4 rubber bands right now, so it's a pretty tough pull. But you can see here, I looped the string through all the pieces of the rubber band so that there's none between these 2 screws. I tied it so that it was a loop, and then I looped that part around the top screw here. So when this rope breaks, these rubber bands will all shoot, which is what we want, okay? So that's how we set up the actual car part. Now I'm going to show you the track in the car. All right, so on a flat surface, you'll probably use the floor, honestly, the most for this. You're going to take all those dowels, that's what we call these are dowels, and we're going to spread them out about 1 inch apart. Okay, it doesn't need to be perfect. Try to kind of keep them in line. Obviously, they need to be going in the same direction. Evenly spaced is going to be better. And the more you do, the further it will go. Then you're going to put your Newton's car on the end so that the rubber bands will shoot this way and the car will go this way. If you do it the wrong way and shoot it this way, it will just fall immediately off the track because it's going to shoot this way. So you want to make sure that the 1 screw is facing the road that you've made, if that makes sense. All right, so that's how we set that up. And then the last part you will need goggles for, you are going to put the weight kind of snug in between the rubber bands here. So push it up in here. And then the last step will be this. You will light a match. You will have goggles on for this. You're going to burn the string and voila. Okay, so that was kind of quick there. I'm going to show one more time. Okay, I'm going to set it up with 1 rubber band this time. So you can see here, I'm going to grab both of those rubber bands. I'm going to tie this string around it. I'm going to lift this up. Okay, make a loop with the string. This is probably the hardest part. Some of you are expert knot tiers. Some of you might struggle a little bit with this. I can always help you. Or go to the expert in your group. Okay, so I've got my loop now. I'm going to hook it on here. And I'm only using 1 rubber band this time to show it a little bit slower. Here we go. Put this in there. All right, and the part that kind of happened pretty quickly last time, you'll have goggles on. When you burn this string, you just want to make sure as soon as it shoots that you get your hand out of the way so you don't get hit by the screws on the back. All right, and you can see that is how the Newton's car works.